out to Blue Blood. Shout out to everybody else that's putting this news out there. All right, so it appears that president of the WBO is going to call some bluffs. Now, keep in mind they are staying true to their word that they would order the winner of originally Tim Tszyu versus Terence Crawford. Tim Tszyu versus Keith Thurman to set up a fight with Terence Crawford. Then it turned out to be Fundora, and then Fundora won, and then they said basically that they're going to order Fundora to face Terence Crawford in a match. So basically, Terence Crawford is supposed to get the winner. So he'll be the legitimate, he'll be the number one contender. So he'll be the legitimate number one contender for the WBO junior middleweight strap. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens. So if Fundora vacates the belt, it's a clear duck and it's a clear strategic move by the PBC. Very strategic. So we gonna see what's gonna happen with Fundora saying, hey, I want Terence Crawford next. I'm gonna fight Terence Crawford. Okay, cool. So let's see. But if he give up the belt and then he say, okay, well, I'm gonna go fight Errol Spence in Dallas, then that's gonna tell you all you need to know about the PBC. They're gonna be forever busted. There's gonna be no way that they could talk around it. The PBC apologists ain't going to be able to talk around it, but that appears to be what could be in plan. I don't even pay attention to these dudes now, Aubrey, because they proven to be full of shit, and that's just the bottom line. So now we gonna see. We gonna see if Fundora is true to his word, because the president apparently is going to order negotiations. Now, keep in mind, they already said that they was going to order negotiations to take place within 5 days of the fight concluding. So now we're going to see if Fundora vacates that belt instead of doing actual negotiations with Terence Crawford for a fight, and he elects to go fight Errol Spence in Dallas. Like I said, once again, that's going to tell you all you need to know about the PBC and that the fix is in. They want Errol Spence to leapfrog into a possible fight with Canelo. Possibly. That could be on the horizons, because basically it makes all the sense in the world. It should be an easy fight to make. The PBC is not going to sacrifice any more fighters to Terence Crawford. They did it with Sean Porter. Danny Garcia, he didn't want none. All this stuff about, Terence Crawford need to go fight Boots and all that. No, he need to go fight Fundora and try to see can he become undisputed in a third weight class. But I already know that they're going to put the monkey wrenches to Terence Crawford. They already trying to put the monkey wrenches. Where Errol Spence come from? We ain't seen or heard from Errol Spence since he took that, ass whooping from Terence Crawford. So now all of a sudden, Errol Spence gets to jump the line and get a title fight that he doesn't deserve. But once again, PBC, the so-called black company, is trying to screw over another black fighter. Errol Spence got the living hell beat out of him. Everybody saw what happened to Errol Spence, but now Errol Spence is jumping the line and basically springboarding his way to a title shot that he doesn't deserve. And like I said, you make an argument that Fundora didn't deserve a title shot because he got knocked out in his last fight. But okay, we accepted it. Because unlike Errol Spence, at least Fundora was campaigning at 154. Errol Spence hasn't had his first official fight at 154, and then he lost his last fight. But somehow, some way, he gets to springboard, leapfrog over everybody else and get a title shot at 154, and he lost his last fight. Not only did he lose his last fight, he got the hell beat out of him. And then he calling himself a big dog. Hey, he big, all right. He ain't lying about that big dog. He ain't lying about the big dog because, like I said, he been looking like he been eating way too many of them oxtails. It's so funny, like I keep saying, when it comes to Terence Crawford, the PBC, they got to do research, they got to check the books, they got to, make appointments to talk to their accountants when it comes to like trying to find Terence Crawford money. But when it comes to Canelo, hey, we got it. Here you go. Here you go. Here go $30 million. Here go $30 million to fight Jaime Munguia in a fight that nobody really cares about, that nobody asked for. But when it comes to Terence Crawford, they need to do research. They need to check the books. You need to take this deal where you get money off entirely the back end of what we do off the pay-per-views, no upfront money. So, I mean, just come on, man. Can we just stop it with this stuff? Can we stop it with this ignorance? But we gonna see. We about to see in a few days how Fundora and the PBC really get down. If they really serious about the best fighting the best. But we already know that Fundora is going to give up the belt. We know Fundora is going to give up the belt because he already talking about giving up the belt. When he walked into that press conference and he only had one of the straps, and I don't want to hear this stuff about he gave it back to Tim Tszyu. Man, get out of here, man. Tim Tszyu ain't the champion no more. So why would you give Tim Tszyu his belt? He ain't the champion no more. You took that belt from Tim Tszyu when you defeated him. You were supposed to come to the press conference with all of the belts. Not one belt, two belt. And keep in mind, the WBC was a vacant belt. At least Tim Tszyu was an elevated champion. But you weren't fighting for you. I mean, come on, man, just stop it. Can we just stop it with this stuff? Even though Tim Tszyu got elevated, I mean, the WBC was basically vacant because they took it away from Charlo. So there you have it. But he came out with that belt. So that already shows you what was going on. So don't be surprised. But let me tell you what's going to happen. The PBC apologists, the Errol Spence fanboys are getting their excuses in place. So if and when there's an actual fight or negotiations or a fight announcement of Errol Spence versus Fundora, and it's funny, Errol Spence already got the location, talking about let's go fight in Dallas. Go fight at the home stadium of Jim Crow Jerry Jones. Jim Crow Jerry Jones, who got caught at a Jim Crow rally, which none of these pro-black niggas said anything about it. But these were the same people that was talking about Terence Crawford as a sellout of Uncle Tom McCoon for dealing with Bob Arum. But these dudes, that was a long time ago with Jerry Jones. He's learned the lesson in it. And like, man, Jerry Jones just got called out a couple of years ago, having apologized for saying something racist. Man, get out of here, man. Get out of here. Get your asses out of here, man. Get out of here, man. Get out of here. Where was you like I said, where was you pro-black niggas at when Jerry Jones, and then Jerry Jones, what was so bad about it? He wasn't even man enough to address it. He didn't even apologize for it. He didn't denounce racism, but these power to the people niggas. Oh man, you that was a long time ago. Oh, I didn't see Errol Spence speak up on that, but he was trying to insinuate Terence Crawford was an Uncle Tom. So what does that make you, Errol? So if Bud or Uncle Tom, and you dealing with a dude that was at a Jim Crow rally and Jerry Jones, well, don't that make you a coon as well? And Errol Spence didn't even address it. Didn't say nothing about it. He was basically displaying his love for Jerry Jones, Massa Jones. So, that just goes to show you how these people really roll. That just really show you how these dudes get down, man. These dudes was nowhere to be found when when that picture of Jerry Jones at a Jim Crow rally showed up, but these were the same people. See, but you don't understand, man. The problem with Terence Crawford working with that devil Bob Arum is, one fish, two fish, green fish with a little bit of salmon. See, what you don't understand is my funatunic measurements. What you don't understand the kleptopesmic of Terence Crawford working with the white man. But soon, the Jerry Jones shit came out there. These dudes was nowhere to be found. They was full blown Damon Wayans. With Bob Arum. Well, they did just like that dude on up. They did just like Homeboy. I'm gonna get you sucker, brother. Are you down for a revolution? Yes. Do you want change in the community? Yes, brother. Will you fight with me? Yeah. That's exactly what the Errol Spence fans did. They just straight disappeared. They wasn't putting up no videos. They wasn't pushing the record button. They just disappeared. Didn't say nothing. So I knew when World Combat Sports, who broke the story, World Combat Sports, shout out to my guy from the ATL, World Combat Sports, when he broke the story about Jim Crow Jerry, dudes disappeared. These dudes didn't say nothing. But these were the same dudes that had their dark shades on, their berets, their leather coats on, their black gloves, fist in the air, acting like they was Eldridge Cleavers, or Huey P. Newton. Bobby Seals, Angela Davis, yeah, man. That damn Terence Crawford, man, sitting up there working with the white man, doing the white man's bidding. Like I said, the Jerry Jones shit came up. These dudes was nowhere to be found. I mean, tucked their tails like the hoes they was. Just disappeared. But we gonna see. So we about to find out. We finna find out what Fundora and the PBC is really made out of. I'm pretty sure they're going to find some elaborate excuse on why they gave up the WBO strap. Because now the president, who appears to be a lawyer because it says Esquire at the end of his Twitter account, or X account, Esquire, that means he's a attorney. He's some kind of attorney. So we gonna see. So if Fundora, like, say we gonna vacate, and what they gonna try to do is either this gonna happen. Oh, we couldn't work out a efficient deal that was satisfactory to me or Terence Crawford. The money wasn't there, and this is why we elected. And I'm telling you, it's gonna be some excuse. If they fight Terence Crawford next, Fundora, I'll give him all the credit in the world, but I just got a feeling they will find a way to get out of that fight. They're going to find a way to give up. They're going to find a way to get out of that fight. They either just going to flat out vacate, or they going to say, we just couldn't work out a deal, so we decided it wasn't no use to hold up the fight or hold the build. And we decided that we just was going to I'm telling you, right now, the PBC, their people is writing up some constructed, pieced together PR speech or statement from Samson Boxing and Fundora's camp to give when they basically give up the WBO strap. Mark my words. Now, like I said, if they come back and say, okay, we gonna fight Terence Crawford. No. And here's the thing. I don't want to hear this stuff about, oh, well, we got a date planned. No, I want to see an actual press conference, because they can sit up there and set up a date and all that stuff. And then they can say, well, we just decided that we just couldn't work out a deal, so we decided to go another direction. But basically the WBC, we already know they're gonna help put this fight and set it in motion, because that's what they do, because they've been in Al Haymon's pockets for a while. And even the people that work with the WBC, as they told me many moons ago, some of their people that work with them said that they was going to pull this. They said back in 2019 that they was going to stall Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford. Stalled that fight out for pretty much 5 years. Almost. Almost 5 years. It was like 4.5 years before we got that fight. So why wouldn't they do it again when they've been doing this? We all know Mauricio Solobon tells you one thing and then does the next. Then comes back and says what he said before. Then when you see him again, changes his mind again. How many lies have I caught that dude? That's why I don't even bother talking to that dude. People be asking me to ask dude certain questions, but he gives you the go around. They've been saying that they're going to mandate Canelo versus David Benavidez. They're going to order Canelo to fight David Benavidez. They said that last year. They said that way last year, and yet they still have not mandated. They still not have demanded that Canelo fight David Benavidez, because what's going to happen is Canelo will just give up the strap. And then there goes their sanctioning fees. So, just telling you what's going to happen. Yeah, it sounds good. Look, the WBO, it sounds good. It sounds good. But I done been down this road way too many times with the PBC. This is why the PBC don't like me. This is why the PBC has ostracized me. This is why the PBC has blackballed me from covering their fights. Because I don't sit up there and kiss their ass like a lot of these other dudes do. And as far as Leonard Ellaby goes, aka Sir Nose, we all know Leonard Ellaby is full of shit. We all know that Leonard Ellaby is basically a mouthpiece for Al Heyman. He's a mouthpiece for Floyd Mayweather, and we all know who's behind this stuff. We all know who's behind Terence Crawford getting the shaft. I mean, can we please just stop the cap? We know who's behind this. These dudes can't tell the truth to save their life. My thing is, looking at Errol Spence, like I said, when will Errol Spence be in fight shape? Because after looking at Errol Spence may be able to get him a job, playing, defensive lineman for the Dallas Cowboys. Dwight Freeney was small for, a defensive lineman. Dwight Freeney wasn't that big, though. I mean, he was quick. Yeah, I know the WBC ordered Fundora and Terence Crawford next, but they can do what Tank did when they ordered them to fight Devin Haney. Oh man, ain't nobody gonna tell us who to fight. Ain't nobody gonna tell us who to fight. We'll just give up the belt. So we gonna see. We gonna see in the next week what's gonna happen. I just got a feeling they're going to try to find a way to get out of this. They're going to make it look like they negotiating or they have a deal set in place, and then somehow, some way, they're going to find a way to backdoor out of this deal. They're going to find a way to get out of this deal. They're going to say something happened. They're going to say, oh, the money wasn't right or whatever the case may be. We just couldn't make a deal on how we going to split the money and all this kind of stuff. First of all, we all know in a fight with Fundora and Terence Crawford is the A side. I hate using that terminology. I don't want to do the typical, this and that, this percentage, that percentage. But at the end of the day, Terence Crawford is far more established than Fundora. I don't want to do the percentage. He should get a bigger share of the pot. I don't want to do that 80-20 stuff that these morons was talking with Terence Crawford and Errol Spence when they were dudes saying that Terence Crawford should get 20%. And like, man, some of these dudes was just dumb as rocks, man. It was just very irritating listening to these dudes, man. They wasn't even smart, dumb guys. They were just dumb dudes. They were just dumb as rocks. You know how you have a dude that just think they smart and they just as dumb as all hell. They think they know what they talking about and they just clueless. Even when you prove they don't know what the fuck they talking about, they'll still act like they know what they talking about. Just because they don't want to be outed for being wrong. That's what a lot of these dudes were doing. We had to go through this crap for 4 years. These dudes making these dumbass videos I don't even want to say who they are. Like, you just saw the ridiculous stuff that was going on. You had, I mean, you had a lot of black supremacists on here towards Terence Crawford. I mean, some of the stuff that was getting directed towards Terence Crawford was just outlandish. It was like some of these dudes went full-fledged Clayton Bigsby on Terence Crawford. I mean, they straight went, you know what I'm saying? For real. Some of these dudes was acting like the Blacks Klansmen's on here. I mean, the whole four years and trying to get Terence Crawford and Errol Spence made, it was terrible. It was terrible. It was trash. But anyway, just want to give you guys a quick update. So the WBC, before I close out this video, the WBO has ordered negotiations to take place between Terence Crawford and Sebastian Fundora within the next week. Now, does that mean they're threatening to strip Fundora? So let's see what happens. But I doubt very seriously that fight is going to happen. I keep telling you, the PBC is not going to give another fighter to Terence Crawford to beat up on and whoop on. They just not going to do it. They just not going to do it. I don't see that. I just don't see that happening. And then based off how Terence Crawford is looking, Terence Crawford is in very good shape and he's got himself ready to go at 154. Terence Crawford isn't sitting around eating, you know what I'm saying, prime rib and steak and lobster and all that kind of stuff. Terence Crawford is taking care of himself. So in closing, I'm just giving you an update. We'll see what happens. Anyway, it's your boy Town. I'm out.